Anti-Afro Svengalis. What I want to cover, this is an important reminder. When you are in these YouTube streets or any of these social media platforms, one thing that an enemy will try to get you to do is to be convinced that they own the platform. And what do I mean by that? They want to make you think you don't have any rights to speak up and or respond to what they say, even if it's about you. So they start issuing all of these threats to you on behalf of a platform that they're not running. We are guests on these platforms. Don't let an enemy get up and start saying all kinds of shit as if it's law, that they hold stock, that they're the owners, that they are the decision makers about what happens on a platform. What am I referring to specifically? Why am I bringing this up? Because I wanted to point out a very specific lie that King Kong Crazy is floating around these YouTube streets. And we know the reason why he's lying. He does not want certain things to happen. He wants to go about saying whatever he wants to say, and no one is to respond to it. He wants to try to convince people. He wants to try to convince those rat-eating witches in his chat that what he says is true. I'm going to tell you a very specific lie that King Kong Crazy told you. This is what he stated. He stated that if you run a live stream in membership only mode, that it's not visible to the YouTube community unless you are a member, a paying member, that this particular live stream has special protections attached to it that don't apply to live streams that are out here in the open. Wrong. When you have a community members only live stream, it is subjected to the exact same regulations as any other live stream. And how do I know this? Although I don't have any interest at all in the statistics, people talk about, oh, the statistics and this many subs and this means this many hours. I don't care about any of that. Never have, never will. But I am interested more and more in YouTube regulations and rules. So I've been looking into it. You're going to allow someone to come up on a platform just because they're hosting the platform, that everything that he says is true. Well, I just gave you a perfect example of a lie. There is no difference. And I'm attaching the guidelines. And if you see anything other than what I am stating, by all means, point it out. This is the other thing people don't understand about social media and what they post on social media. The minute you post something on social media, it's no longer private. Just because you hit private settings doesn't make it private. This is not a Fourth Amendment domain. Being here on social media has nothing to do with your Fourth Amendment rights, because these social media platforms are not your platforms. Posting something, whether or not it's in the private setting or the public setting, is irrelevant with respect to your privacy or with respect to our privacy. It has absolutely nothing to do with privacy. If it did, then King Kong Crazy would be able to find out and sue the four people who are sending us the sneak panel live streams. You don't know who sent those sneak panels to us. There were people who were disgusted by your behavior and they just sent it to us. We had no idea you were talking shit about us because we're not members of your live stream. We don't have anybody sitting over there like you want to make believe. We sent people over to your live stream. And the lying continues. It goes on and on and on. He got up there and said all kinds of lies. One of the lies was that he said for us or for me not to come back. When? After we left? Gerald Palmer was barely even in your live stream. He didn't go there unless I begged him to go because I didn't feel comfortable being there without him because of the crap that was going on. I left your live stream. What is the big deal? Do you want to have some grand production that proves to the world that you kicked me to the curb? Okay, so let me come back over to your platform. Somebody said I was blocked. How do I know if I'm blocked? I'm not over there. How am I going to know? How do you know if you're blocked from a platform? Would it be that you go over there and you leave a comment and it doesn't show? Or they say, hey, so and so, AAS, you're here in my live stream. And guess what, you blankety blank? All the names you've been calling me, I've lost track at this point. I have them written down. They're on audio. You call me all these names, and then you say, block her, or I'm blocking her. Okay, then you get your satisfaction. Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to come back over there, get up in your chat and act the fool so you can block me? Will you be satisfied? Obviously, you're not satisfied running these lies that you kicked me out of your life. You never kicked me out of anywhere. You didn't kick me out anywhere. Linda didn't kick me out of anywhere. I left and I never came back. I went back to your community wall to leave you a message of support. I was never back in your chat. So quit spinning these lies to try to make yourself look like you're something that you're not. You're just like everybody else in these YouTube streets. What makes you so special above everybody else that you're saying people have to bow down to you and do whatever the hell you say? We don't have to do what you say. We can come and go as we please to any platform that allows us to come. So when you don't get your way, like this other person out here in these YouTube streets, don't get your way, so you start making lies up. That right there is a mark of insecurity, because lying is a method of trying to gain control. So you have to try to gain control by making up stories and making up lies on people, like the stuff about Gerald smoking. Gerald has never smoked. Gerald is going to tell you about smoking when he never smoked. Where are the messages about smoking? I mean, you must be talking about yourself, because you're not supposed to be smoking. You're not supposed to be drinking. So you're trying to impose this rule on everybody else who's not even telling you about their smoking or drinking. I mean, it's really, really bizarre behavior. If you so disdain me, Gerald, anyone else associated with us, what is the reason that you continue to go about collecting money as you talk shit about us? You were talking shit about us before we even realized you were doing this, and you were collecting money for doing it. I mean, what else can be more disgusting and revolting? That you hate someone so bad, you have no goal in mind. At least with Umar Johnson, I have a goal, and we've achieved many goals with Umar. It's not just me posting videos. So what in the heck do you expect people to do with your information? Nothing. You want to just rant and rave about what horrible people we are, but you never say what you did. That sneak panel audio is audio you don't want us to release, because it's going to put you in a light that people have never seen. You completely losing it and screaming and hollering about people that you're not even in contact with. So you say, even those who support the space and support me, they were convinced that we just got into some huge argument 5 minutes ago, because the level of intensity of your anger and you screaming and carrying on. I mean, where in the hell is this coming from? Lo and behold, I pretty much had figured it out. You make a point to say, you can even tell when I cut off sentences. So you must be listening pretty intensely to what I'm saying. If you can get into a video, because I record what videos can be anywhere from, I say on average 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You're listening to every single syllable that I'm saying in the video for you to catch that I'm re-looping, for you to catch that I cut off myself in sentences. And there are times when I know I probably should go back and edit the video. And I tell people, hey, there's going to be some re-looping. I didn't have time to go back and edit. You expect me to be some Hollywood editor, but you're sure going in there, checking everything that I'm doing. So you're watching me a hell of a lot more than I'm watching you. You are watching and listening to everything I say. And if you say you moved on, that's incongruent with your declaration, your public declaration that you were moving on. You just moved on to those sneak panels where you were charging people money to rail against us. So you don't own social media platforms. What you said about the members only live streams is not true. Those regulations equally apply to community/membership live streams, just as they do with live streams that are here immediately accessible to the public. So you can go ahead and try to copyright strike whatever you want. We can start a copyright strike war because I have areas I can copyright strike you on. So if that's what you want to do, go for it, KKC. And let me tell you this, we will decide when we're going to release what. You can't tell us what we're going to put out on our channel and when we're going to release any audio. The audio that we have from the live streams, and you lied again. You said it was only one live stream. It was not. You said you didn't talk about us in 2022. Lie. You did. We have the live streams from January, February, and March. We have the sneak panels. So much for you lying, getting up here and saying you weren't talking about us. You were talking about us plenty in 2022. In 2021, you weren't as intense, but something happened. Something happened between late 2021 and going early in 3 months into 2022. You completely went off the rails, going off on us on a sneak panel. I mean, that doesn't make sense. But I'm going to address that in another video because that's a lot of other mess that I'm not going to address here. I wanted to make sure people are reminded of the fact this is not your enemy's platform. Your enemy doesn't dictate what you do. They don't dictate your content. They can't control what you say. If you say something out of line, it would be YouTube and Google who makes the decision about whether or not your live stream should be booted, whether your video should be booted. It is not your enemy's decision. You know there's more to come. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.